I'm gonna show you how to make the best f***ing carbonara. I have everything ready here. Grated Parmesan cheese, diced onion, diced bacon. I like to use applewood smoked. Diced pancetta, garlic, salt and pepper, some eggs. I have egg yolk and whole eggs. We're gonna start by sauteing the bacon in the pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and then get this bacon going. You're gonna want the bacon to cook, but you don't want it to get so crispy that it dries out. And the pancetta. Let this cook at about a medium heat for about 5 minutes. Smells so good. The other thing to keep in mind anytime you're making a pasta dish is to not overcook your spaghetti. So for the bacon and pancetta, you want it to start to crisp. You can see the fat is rendering and it's cooking. Once it starts to brown, we will add the onion. If you're the kind of person who gets distracted in the kitchen, my biggest piece of advice is to turn down your heat. If something's burned, especially garlic, it's gonna ruin the dish. It's gonna be bitter. It's just a safety mechanism to just turn the heat down if you're gonna walk away, or turn it off until you can be there. I recommend just, being present while it's cooking and making sure you're moving it around in the pan. I'm gonna add this onion to the bacon because it's starting to brown. Now is a really good time to put the spaghetti in. It's gonna cook for about 10 minutes. I usually use a whole box for 4 people. Today I'm gonna do about a half a pound, which is a half a box. The water's at a rolling boil, so we're gonna go ahead and put it in. You might be tempted to break your spaghetti in half so it fits, but it's really not necessary. You wanna have those whole long pieces of pasta. Put it in and then give it a minute to soften, and then you'll push it in a little bit. So we'll check on that in about 8 minutes. We really wanna make sure it doesn't overcook. You want it to still be firm to the bite. This needs to cook for about 5 minutes so that the onions soften and the bacon continues to cook. And an important part of carbonara is to save some of the cooking liquid from the spaghetti, because we might need to add that later if the carbonara looks too thick. And we're gonna add it, we're gonna add a little bit of it to our eggs and Parmesan. I'm gonna add the beautiful eggs. I have 4 whole eggs in here, and then 2 that I've separated. These are just egg yolks, okay? Like I said, I always recommend getting free-range organic eggs. They just taste better and they're better for you. So we're gonna whisk this together. You wanna have, this is called your mise en place. You wanna have everything ready while you're cooking. It makes it faster, it makes it easier, it makes it a whole lot more fun. I added about 1.5 cups of cheese to the eggs. We're making about 3 portions, 3 servings right now. You can double this for a dinner party and have 6. I usually make about double this for me and my husband, and we eat all of it. Just depends how hungry you are. Okay, so this is all ready. We're gonna set this aside. I'm gonna turn this heat back up, get these going. And through the magic of editing, we're gonna come back and these are gonna be ready. So our bacon and onions have cooked. The bacon's getting really crispy. The onions are translucent. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of minced garlic to this, give it a little bit of flavor. And our spaghetti is just about ready. I've reserved about 1/2 cup of cooking liquid. I'm gonna put just a little drop of it in with the eggs and the Parmesan, give it a little bit more of a liquid consistency. And now we get to do the really fun part, which is we add the cooked spaghetti to the bacon, garlic, onion mixture, and it's gonna coat it. And what happens is the oil coats the noodles. Then when you add the eggs and Parmesan, it'll stick to it and give it this beautiful, beautiful creamy texture. So let me grab that spaghetti. Keep in mind, we cook this only to al dente, meaning it's still very firm to the bite. We're gonna add it to the pan, and because it's gonna cook more in the pan, we were really careful not to overcook it, because we don't want it getting super soft and mushy. So now what's happening is I'm coating it with the bacon and the onions and the pancetta. And once you've kind of tossed it around in here, we're gonna turn off the heat and we're gonna add in this beautiful, creamy, eggy goodness. And since the pan is still hot, it'll cook it a little bit, but since you turned it off the heat and you're gonna move it around, it just clings to it and gives it this gorgeous, gorgeous, creamy consistency. Even though carbonara is a time-sensitive dish, it's not something that you can really make, you really want to make in advance and have sitting around, because it's best right after it's been made. If you leave it in the pan for too long, or if the pan's too hot, what happens is the eggs turn into scrambled eggs. They'll get little chunks, and that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like this beautiful creamy texture. I'm gonna add some chopped parsley to give it a little bit of a green seasoning flavor. So now I'm gonna plate this beautiful pasta.